1348 Ex Voto just released the other day, and it's getting absolutely destroyed on all fronts, and I've had the displeasure of playing it myself, and I've gotta say, there's no freaking way this game got over 250,000 wish lists on Steam. I mean, excuse me if I'm using common sense here for a second, but this game only opened to a peak of about 400 players on Steam, and I'd hate to call 249,000 gamers liars. But really dude, for me, it's not about gay protagonist this, or Will Byers' haircut from Stranger Things that. For me, it's about the developers shaking jabs at other developers for standing on their principles, because if you didn't know, there's another medieval game coming out called A Knight's Tale, and they promoted one of their more attractive female love interests online, and the internet lost its mind, crying out for more representation, and well, we all know what that means. Anyway, the Ex Voto devs couldn't stay out of the drama and poked the internet bare with their own posts promoting their own LGBTQ+ love interests and character designs. And that's kinda what I wanted to talk about. This weird time we live in where female character designs are caught in the middle of a culture war. You see, on one extreme we're experiencing, let's call it the uglification of women. They're literally taking female face models and intentionally making them less attractive. And that's a bad thing no matter how you spin it, especially when you almost never see this happen with male face models. The closest I can get to this is James Sunderland from the Silent Hill 2 remake, and that's just because they didn't go out of their way to beautify him. But with characters like Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil Requiem, he's intentionally created to be hot in alignment with the actual female developers' tastes who worked on Resident Evil, and men agree. It was a damn good call. Except me, Freak Leon, I'm his #1 hater. Now imagine whenever a male developer designs females to cater to his dreaded male gaze. It's always met with backlash and criticism. It's objectifying and demeaning. It doesn't represent the right people and offends all the wrong ones. Nowadays, we can almost see the modern agenda coming from a mile away, just by looking at the female character designs, and I'm not even someone who goes around campaigning against wokeness, but when you see a female character who has been altered intentionally to look less appealing to males, you kinda see all the baggage that comes with it. Oh, she's probably annoying and self-centered. She's probably a do-it-all who can do everything on her own. Oh god, I hope she doesn't make my fan-favorite male character look like an idiot. And we've been conditioned to look out for these warning flags through how they portray the female characters for years now, thanks to a revolution of female-led content in both games and movies. And on the face of things, this isn't really a bad thing. Representation is good in all forms, but I feel like the execution could use a little work. We've seen it play out in the Marvel movies, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and then it slowly crept into gaming. Horizon Zero Dawn's matriarchy, The Last of Us 2, heck, probably even the upcoming Intergalactic The Heretic Prophet game, and boy, that was a mouthful. And for me personally, I couldn't believe it when one of my favorite male-dominated franchises, Gears of War, slowly took the word war out of the title when the entire series is about war. And then they handed the reins down to a character named Kate in Gears 5 as the main character, which honestly I didn't feel anything about Kate in Gears 4. She was alright I guess, but in Gears 5, her entire character was insufferable and selfish and self-centered. She put everyone at risk over how she felt and her emotions. They made the whole game about Kate and it just didn't sit right with me at all. But I guess I should have taken note of her Karen haircut and I wouldn't have had the surprised Pikachu face. Now let's look at the flip side of things, because yeah, as much as I like looking at Eve from Stellar Blade's assets on display while she slides down ladders, I gotta say, there's another extreme at play here with female characters being too idealistic in their design, often looking like silicone love dolls pumped out of an assembly line with copy-pasted faces. Like, literally, Overwatch fans have been complaining that every other girl looks like Tracer, and yeah, after seeing this meme, I kinda agree with them. I think they have a point here. Even Tekken 8 has this problem where all of the women have an airbrushed look to them, and their facial structures all look the same. Heck, even their bodies are shaped similarly, give or take a few boob size differences. It kinda makes looking at the females a little boring to be honest, because they're too perfect. There are no imperfections because they all looked photoshopped, like they're straight out of a social media Instagram filter. Now Now let's look at the guys of Tekken 8 by comparison. Some guys have scars, they have a more mature appearance, some seem more grizzled. I can tell the age of these guys and probably even create my own guess as to what their personalities and backstories are, just by looking at them. Now back to the ladies, and they all look like twin sisters down to the lips and noses. And look, I'm not trying to be too hard on some of these games here because they're all pretty great, but for as much as I hate Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, there's a huge difference in how she looks versus how Ellie looks. And honestly, a lot of my issues with these two characters boil down to their personalities, but I can probably get to that point in a future video. But also, Aeta from 1348 Ex Voto, Will Byers' bowl-cut twin sister, looks completely different from her love interest Bianca. But that's not to say that I don't have issues with Aeta as a character, because I definitely do. Because, yeah, I kinda had some time to play this game. I put in around an hour, and I've gotta say, it's pretty mid. I mean, I love games like Hellblade 1. The warrior chick goes out to face all kinds of unknown threats motivated by their loved ones. It's a freaking compelling concept to me, honestly, and I definitely wanted to try Ex Voto despite the controversies surrounding it, but I'm only an hour in, and I never want to boot it up again, honestly. It just plays itself too straight, too safe, too boring. Like, you get the impression that Aeta and Bianca are best buddies more than anything else. Like, everyone hyping up this game, and I think some of the marketing even had kind of promoted this as an LGBTQ+ adventure, but when there's like no romantic chemistry being given out in the first hour of the game, and the entire purpose of the game is to save this other person, then where's my motivation as the player to keep going here? Aeta and Bianca treat each other more like roommates than anything else, so it's kind of hard to form a connection to their relationship at all. And then Aeta herself is pretty boring. Like, I love that she's so honorable and respectful, even to people who don't seem to really deserve it, and she reveres her late father. But at one point does she become an interesting character beyond her status as a knight. It's like the developers went in saying, okay, let's make a female knight character, that'll get a lot of attention, right? And then forgot to do anything else with the character. The game starts off by telling you that life is hard for women in these times. Sure, okay, maybe show me that? Bianca is gonna live in a convent, which sucks, I guess, but it's not exactly Guantanamo Bay. And Aeta doesn't share any particular struggles she's faced as a woman who became a knight from what I've seen. Now compare her to Lara Croft from Tomb Raider. Lara started out as an archaeology student who had an innocent curiosity about the world and its mysteries. Then she's taken hostage by murderers, and she has to learn to become one herself in order to survive. That's a hook. That's a compelling character angle with development. She isn't just a badass who takes down men twice her size. She's had to suffer. She's had to grow to use her cunning and resourcefulness in order to achieve this. Now Aeta, on the other hand, is just a scrawny woman with a bowl-cut hairdo. She's, at least seemingly, just an ordinary knight who can fight men twice her size because, well, video games, I guess. Or maybe it's the power of love, I don't know. But like I said, you can easily swap Aeta out with any male character, and it would make even more sense because there's no tying in Aeta's gender into her character story, it seems. At least not in the very painful hour I've played of the game. And painful is right because this combat is clunky and cumbersome. All you do is walk in a largely straight line playing Corridor Simulator, run into bandits, fight them awkwardly as you fumble with the controls, and then continue walking. And I hope you like puzzles in the form of dragging large boxes, because, well, we've got plenty of those here. And oh look, here's a cutscene that advances absolutely nothing of value to the story. Anyway, if you're still here after listening to me ramble, then consider subscribing. I wanted to try a different kind of video tackling my other perspectives when it comes to gaming, like gender representation, and I kinda want to bring in some other opinions too, so definitely let me know if you like this video and want to see more of it. This is RageWatch, and I'm out. Thanks for watching.